Crypto volatility is up, and so are the Shiba Inu coin burns. You guys can see a 2 million % increase in the Shiba Inu coin burns, and it's a 2 million % rise, but the numbers are still modest. Now, we're going to be going over the numbers in this video because, of course, a 2 million % increase sounds dramatic. It sounds exponential, and it is, but it simply means that yesterday's burns were almost nothing. So we're going to go over the numbers, what it means for Shiba Inu coin moving forward, and if it sounds like something you're interested in, let's get started. What's up, everybody? I'm Clay, and as you can see, a 2 million % increase is very, very nice, but we have to understand all of the numbers. In looking at the price of Shiba Inu coin, Bitcoin is doing its best to bounce back at the moment. Shiba Inu coin doing its best to bounce back at the moment, but prices are still very low, testing support, and fear is still extremely high right now. Level of 17 extreme fear. We're going to have to see how that plays out throughout the day today and tomorrow. But if we're looking at the numbers, it says Shiba Inu coin or Shiba Inu token experienced a dramatic burn rate increase when its price recovered 9% following Sunday's significant drop. And that was actually into Monday. So it was Monday morning, the Shiba Inu coin and the cryptocurrency space were experiencing their lows. It says the burn rate figure appears impressive, but the actual quantity of tokens removed remains relatively small. It says, according to SHIB Burn's wallet tracker, the burn rate of Shiba Inu coin's cryptocurrency has demonstrated an extraordinary surge of 2 million % over the last 24 hours. This astronomical percentage increase represents a significant spike in token burns compared to the previous period. However, despite the impressive percentage growth, the actual number of Shiba Inu tokens destroyed overnight was relatively modest, amounting to 13,392,000. And that simply tells us that over the previous day, we basically saw no Shiba Inu coin burn. Now, the good news is people are still continuing to burn Shiba Inu coin. Several $100s being burned is absolutely something, and it is much better than nothing. Here's the thing that a lot of people like to do during times of pullbacks or bear markets and so on. Number one, they forget that it's easier to burn Shiba Inu coin while the prices are lower. So, of course, burning 13 million Shiba Inu coin now, as opposed to burning 13 million Shiba Inu coin, the price is 5 times higher, is going to be 5 times cheaper. So there is a silver lining to the price being low if we're willing to burn. But when people see only 13 million Shiba Inu coin, when people see only 20 million, only 100 million, and they realize that it's going to take decades or hundreds of years or maybe thousands of years, depending on the current burn rate, to significantly burn the supply, they get very pessimistic. And that's not the approach that we need to take this. We need to have a very optimistic approach when it comes to burning, when it comes to accumulating, and when it comes to price action. Because once we allow the pessimism to set in, once we allow that negativity to set in, what happens is we fall victim to the emotion. We fall victim to the fear. So logically speaking, we need to celebrate the wins. And any amount of Shiba Inu coin burned is a win. Now, don't forget, if you guys want to contribute to that Shiba Inu coin burn, you get a link in the description below for Amazon. Roughly 1% of anything that you guys purchase, not just the SHIB merch or bro merch, but literally anything on Amazon, burns Shiba Inu coin. So keep that in mind if you guys want free ways to burn SHIB. But it says the discrepancy between the percentage increase and the actual quantity burned highlights the percentage metrics can sometimes appear more dramatic than the underlying activity. The largest transaction burned saw 9,999,999 Shiba Inu coin sent to the unspendable wallet, effectively removing these tokens from circulation permanently. And I do want to say this. One of the most important things about burning Shiba Inu coin is that these tokens are gone forever. If you're looking at places like Crypto.com or centralized exchanges, when they burned the 70 billion Kronos tokens, they recently just voted to reissue, essentially undoing and unraveling everything that was ever burned for Kronos. Living a lie. Because it's centralized. Now, the beautiful thing about Shiba Inu coin is it's decentralized. No exchange, no one exchange owns. You can't vote to reissue those Shiba Inu coin. They're burned and burned forever. So when you're talking about deflationary, okay, understand that it is very important that Shiba Inu coin is a decentralized token. Looking at the weekly burn statistics provides additional context. Over the past week, the SHIB community has collectively removed 191 million Shiba Inu coin from circulation. While this represents a substantial number of tokens, it actually indicates an 82% decrease compared to the burn activities from the previous week. And that's understandable, right? Because logically speaking, it is easier to burn Shiba Inu coin or any other token when the price is low, and the price is lower this week than it was last week. But also, emotionally speaking, when the price is lower, people lose interest. When the price is lower, people give up. When the price is lower and that fear sets in, people don't do what is logical. They do what is emotional. And it's unfortunate for them, but fortunate for everybody willing to push through. Right now, you can go out and you can read article after article about institutions in Wales loading up on cryptocurrency, buying this dip because they believe that the rebound will occur. Not because they're, crossing their fingers and hoping that things go back up, but every single market dip throughout history has resulted in gains afterwards. And I believe that that is exactly what we are going to see again. It's not going to happen when people are fearful. It's not going to happen when people are too afraid to buy. But this is eventually going to come back up into fear, and then greed, and then extreme greed. And when it does, the gains are going to pile in. The burns may actually increase as well. So what could be cheaper to burn right now and more expensive to burn later? It's the same way people are willing to buy when prices are high. They are also willing to burn when prices are high. It's this emotional roller coaster that everybody gets on that doesn't necessarily make sense. It's this emotion that drives purchases. It's this emotion that drives sales. And if it was logic, we would all be multimillionaires. So guys, all I ask is that you ignore the emotion, that you take a step back, that you see what is really going on in the cryptocurrency space right now, and you make your decision based on that. That is exactly what I've done. Now, I have decided to continue loading up on cryptocurrency. I read all the posts on X. I read the articles, the headlines out there. Buy gold. Crypto is done. The dollar is going to spiral out of control. Donald Trump is going to ruin the world. And I understand the narrative that they are all pushing down our throats right now. It is a narrative of fear. It is propaganda to get us to sell our assets and to hate a single man and an administration that is set on making America great again. Now, whether or not you guys believe that, I don't care. Look at history. It repeats itself. And every market dip has resulted in a gain. So I'm using the KSX exchange. You get links for these exchanges down in the description below. I'm using the KSX exchange to trade. You can use up to 100x leverage, and the futures fees are 0% maker and 0% taker fees. I am holding my cryptocurrency on Best Wallet. You've got a link for Best Wallet down in the description as well. This is your key to the blockchain, your custody of your assets. If it's not your custody, is it really your crypto? Now, it's convenient to hold on a centralized exchange, but we saw what Crypto.com did. They voted to reissue 70 billion burned tokens. Imagine what they can do with their crypto if they won. Therefore, I am moving and I am holding my assets on Best Wallet, my direct access to the blockchain. Let me know what you guys are doing down in the comments below, and until the next time, hope that each and every one of you have an awesome day.